AMP for email allows email senders to include the richness and interactivity of the AMP standard inside of email messages. So futurizing, bringing email into the 21st century. So if you're not familiar with AMP, this is actually kind of a big deal. AMP for email supports a bunch of new use cases that are never before thought of, right? So first, inside of AMP emails, you can make your emails more interactive and using clickable interfaces. So users can browse and explore content right inside their email message without leaving the client. Second, you can make sure that those emails are up to date so they don't see stale information when they open their messages. Third, users can actually take action right inside of an AMP email. Things like managing subscription preferences, maybe responding to a survey, questionnaire, that kind of thing, maybe progressive profile elaboration. We can talk more about that later. Even the first few steps of some kind of a workflow. All that kind of stuff could happen inside their email client without ever popping out to another tab. And most importantly, AMP for email is actually compatible with all of your existing emails today. It adds to the email standard rather than replacing it. So it's just a third MIME type that goes in the email alongside with the text and HTML parts. So all those things together make AMP unlock a whole bunch of never before possible use cases. Let's walk through a couple super simple examples of what you can do with AMP for email. This is from the Google I/O conference last year. It's a survey email that asks for feedback from the conference attendees. Rather than have those users open an email, click on a link, open up a tab, load a new page, and then start to fill out a survey, we wanted to bake all of that interaction directly into the message. So by lowering that friction to responding, we get a much higher response rate from our audience, and we get a better idea of how the conference really was for them, which was the key metric we wanted to measure with this email. So let's look at some of the things that are new here. So we have the interactive radio buttons that users can click on right from inside the message. And then when they do that, a new section shows up with a text field so the users can add more detail. And after they're done, they can hit send feedback, and it sends their response to the I/O team, which happens via like an HTTP inline request. So the user hasn't gone anywhere. It all happens inside of their email rather than having to open up a separate tab. They can take action right from inside that message, which gives us higher conversion rates. And instead of hiding behind a click, this action is right there in the message. It's not super difficult to create these. You can see the code sample for building the form right there. I'll do another one, similar concept. In the HTML version, you would get this email, and you'd click Review Issue, and it takes you off to some other website. That adds friction to the process, right? With the AMP version, the interaction is baked right into the email, and you can see that the code necessary to do this is not super complicated. So even with those two really simple examples, you can start to see some of the new use cases that AMP unlocks. What we saw, the two survey examples are very, very simple, but you can get really fancy with AMP for email. Hopefully showing you these will get some of your creative juices flowing, and you can think of some cool stuff that you could do.